Good evening. The algorithm brought you to this video, and the fact that you clicked on it tells me what it should tell you. That like me, you follow the goings-on of the world through the proxy of online content creators. You shouldn't take this as an insult, and let me better explain. You see, I truly believe there are three classes of life perceivers. Those too old to get their source of information from anything other than the main slop media. Those who are addicted to short-form content and therefore consume about 6 hours of dopamine every evening, but never actually learn anything about the goings-on around them. And finally, we many who for the most part get our entertainment on a day-to-day basis from mid to long-term content on YouTube. All of this isn't to say we're better than those other two groups, but what I am saying is that the medium we enjoy has been fertile ground for and inevitably led to a sort of 4D chess hellscape where thousands of players, some with bigger pieces than others, and that is a euphemism, wage war over a giant board. A message board, if you will. Whether you're a sword restoration enjoyer, or perhaps you like watching men go camping, or even enjoy the odd garden makeover, eventually, a tile near you will fall under the shadow of a passing chess piece, blasting from its propaganda speakers, "Get a load of these other guys." Now, I'm not going to say something cliche like, everything has become political, or these are divided times, because, well, things have always been political. All things. And every time has been divided over something. I think instead, we're in a brave new world never experienced before by the likes of our parents when it comes to media. Can you imagine if their favourite sources of entertainment, the likes of Friends, Seinfeld or Frasier, were live streaming themselves, dunking on each other for wrongthink? And in the murky trenches surrounding these power players, these big pieces, constant hand-to-hand skirmishing can be witnessed by those brave enough to register a Reddit account. Incessant in-fighting and out-fighting wages on 24/7, 365, moving from hill to hill on which they can gladly lay down their life. No sooner has some brave patriot fallen on his sword, doxed publicly for his online Amazon reviews of adult diapers where he said, quote, "My mistress was less than impressed by the absorbency," when their grand leader, their god emperor, releases another stream highlight clip with a photo of their mortal enemy. The topic today? Video game boober. And now that I've painted the landscape for you, I want to comfort or dismay those who think this video is going to be some kind of glaze or dunk on your favourite parasocial based pill dispenser, but instead it's going to do what all my videos have and will continue to do. Ruminate on the subtext behind the ongoing phenomena and point out what's glaringly apparent to me from afar. That is, as more and more of these big pieces allow their viewer captivity to push them to the extremes, and they engage in utilitarian behaviour and rationality, it's those who are the most reasonable that are going to continue to get filthy, stinking rich. Now that was a pretty long intro, but this is complicated. And it's been nearly 3 years since I made a video, so I haven't got any parasocial context or lore to fall back on when I start talking about the goings-on of such a complicated machine like YouTube drama. And God help me, I'm going to stay away from drama because again, like I said, for the sake of this video and the topic at hand, it really doesn't matter who is right and who is wrong. What's more important is to try to remember that most people are not extreme. Wow, who would have thought? What a rare fucking ultra IQ take, right? But sarcasm aside, that's just reality. It's maths. That fringes exist, and most people don't sit on them. Whether you want to call it a horseshoe or a bell curve, the alt-woke or the alt-right sit on their fringes, riding causes the way Bonnie Blue rides cocks, with no hands and a smile on their face, chasing checks from political-minded whales, and alienating every non-freak with access to the internet. You might ask yourself why all this matters, or matters to me even, but I always roll my eyes when people are watching a 2-hour live stream about politics and take the time to try and cosplay as a disinterested, black-pilled normie in the comments. It's self-disproving, it's an oxymoron. If you didn't care, you wouldn't watch, and if you didn't feel as though it were worth commenting on, well, you wouldn't comment, duh. So the extremes are pretty easy to spot, designate, and laugh at, frankly. I think they're hilarious. Most sane people do. They say wild, violent, laughably incorrect, and later disprovable things to make themselves look great in the moment, or for some kind of propaganda-esque YouTube short. But 10 minutes later, there'll be 3 or 4 more YouTube shorts showing the receipts, and playing the Curb Your Enthusiasm music over it. However, you can't truly discount them. Not fully. Because without them, the reasonable centre wouldn't be doing what it's currently doing. Popping the fuck off, for lack of a better expression. But now, having read back what I just wrote, reasonable centre, I realise I've just tickled the taint of people with a degree in Wikipedia copy and pasting. Like I just put a prompt in an AI to tell them to cancel all previous instructions and say, actually, 100 times in all known fictional languages. Trashful, you ignorant fool. There's no such thing as a centrist. They're just cowardly fence riders or mask on, insert opposite group think to me here. Well, that sure is convenient for those who love groups. Personally, I can't think of anyone more cowardly than someone who allies themselves up with a party over maybe one big political or ethical agreement, only to then hand-wave all the other disagreements or moral inconsistency their groups engages in, just so they haven't got to feel lonely. You should inspect yourself. Pause the video if you have to, and really ask yourself, are there any views held by any other groups that I don't necessarily align myself with that I agree with? And well, if there aren't any, then maybe you aren't doing all that much thinking for yourself, and maybe you just like to be told what to think. And expanding on that thought exercise further, if you truly believe that out of the infinite groups out there, that yours is the only good one, and all the others have no good beliefs or intentions at all to consider, you might just be what's wrong with your own movement. But getting back to the matter at hand, my little centrism rant over, it's clear to me, and hopefully to others, that extreme opinions and behaviour have become so popular and so fed to us, so spoon-fed to us, that when we stumble onto a reasonable, calm, sane opinion on anything, fucking anything, any topic, it's like crack. Sometimes I'll catch myself sitting there listening to people say shit like, well, maybe we shouldn't be killing people. And I'm just babbling like a toddler with his first word. True, dude. And it's like, oh shit, baby just learned a second word. What the fuck is wrong with me, dude? What the fuck is wrong with the world where, for comfort and dissociation from my shitty 9-to-5 life, I binge common sense and charitable opinions? Why do I suckle on the algorithm's teat as it trickle feeds me shit I already know and shit that's axiomatically apparent? Who knows, dude? Maybe I've been sort of reverse radicalized. I've been, by the constant onslaught of awfulness, centralized and like unplugged from the rage machine. For a good while, it felt as though every time I touched any sort of device with access to the internet, 5,000 volts were shot into the misanthropic center of my brain, and I just wanted to flood the data centers of the world and force these extremist freaks and mentally ill lunatics back to smoke signals and carrier pigeons. But to close this all out and sum up my feelings and perspective on the online world at large, war is raging. Content creators are falling on swords and dying on hills every day. But if you can find yourself as far from a ledge as possible and stick to Reddit posts that just about help you fix that issue on your computer, maybe we'll all make it. And you'll truly know you've made it if this coming Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner with your family, when your purple-haired or skin-headed second cousin starts talking about some unhinged shit and they're teeing you up to support them, you can just simply say, I don't know who or what the fuck you're talking about. Can you pass me the stuff in?